Big ideas start with a spark. At Tassis, we use that spark to ignite the fire in ourselves and our kids. So with the trust we build and the knowledge we share, we can grow together and stand tall, creating opportunities to advance in business while setting an example for the next generation. Whether you are starting fresh in Portugal or expanding globally, we're here to support each other. This is more than a network. We are a community that sets the examples for the leaders of tomorrow. Join Tassie's Paris business community and share your knowledge and insights. Scan the QR for more information. See you there.
My name is Hanna Svensson, and I was born in Sweden and raised in Sweden. And I was introduced to real estate with my parents. They were always renovating and building, and I got the passion when I was young, like drawing on floor plans, and always I started my passion there. And then in university, I was doing computer science and media technology, and since outside Sweden, most Swedish companies are in Brazil, so I went there to learn Portuguese and get my master's. And there, my life took a bit of a turn. I met my husband, and he's in real estate, and I started to work there with him. And I had my first daughter there, and it was so insecure. So I was like, no, I'm out of here. And he was like, oh, either we go to the US or Portugal. His father is Portuguese, so it was a quite natural move here. So then we started with the Rio Capital, that is his company. And we were always, like every week, we were analyzing 20 projects. And the smaller ones, it's less profitable. Like it's the same work, but it's less profitable. So he was doing the big ones, and I started to take the small ones. And that's like, I was starting doing that like 7 years ago when we moved here. So it's actually today, it's 7 years since I moved. Yeah.
Right, so you both are working in the same team while you split the project in terms of sizes.
Yeah.
Okay. What exactly do you do? Can you describe your work?
Yeah, so I look at all the projects, and I take in the ones that I think I could see myself live in. And then I have a part of my team here today. So we do all the structuring and the management of the work. I have a lot of suppliers and constructors, and that has been the most challenging part of my work, to have good team members like the builders, the plumbers and electricians, and people sometimes they have left the building, or sometimes it has been happening a lot of things during these years, but it's a learning process, and it's fun.
Okay. Where does your work start and where does it end?
Yeah, so I start with doing the analysis of the different projects, and then I'm also selling. So we started to do the selling work as well, and then we talk to the client and see if they want like interior design, so we can do like a turnkey solution for our clients.
So for the audience to understand, you get projects which have houses already, or is it just flat, nothing existing?
We do both. Like I focus on the most like old buildings, and I've done mostly in central Lisbon, so the historical buildings. So I want to keep the old charm and maintain as much as possible. And my husband's companies, like I work a lot with them, and it's like from ground. Most of them, but it's also like keep the facade and do like tear everything down. Okay. But I have a passion to see that like something old come alive again. So that's what I want to do, like keep the old like ceilings, the stucco ceilings and the woodwork and that.
Can you describe a project that people might know in Lisbon where you have done what your passion is?
A very nice building that I actually lived there. That was our first project here that I did together with my husband. Is Cruz da Pedra Palace. Mm-hmm. It was built 1640s, and it was actually the house of Miguel Pereira Forjais. That was when the Portuguese king went to Brazil, fleeing from Napoleon. The ruler of Portugal lived in this palace, so it's a quite historical, nice palace.
Okay. And what did you keep out of that building? And how?
Actually, it was a stressed asset we bought, so it was most of it was already done. We just did some simple renovations, but I put in the chapel. I put in this azulejo wall with a bit of this Napoleon coming in and the ships going out to the sea, and we did some to keep a bit of it old, but it was quite. Most of the renovation was already done, so I couldn't keep as much as I would have loved to do. But yeah.
Okay. Can you describe a bit the team you have? So who is inside your team, and who do you have from outside to do the amazing work you do?
Okay, so I have Leonardo. He works with me with the floor plans and the interior design, and he's there to see that the guys that are working there are keeping it like according to our project. And I have my parents that are here today, and they are with me in all the process, and they are seeing that because the standards here are quite inferior than in Sweden, so we want to keep a high standard on all the work with from the insulation and the ventilation and the electricity and plumbing and everything.
Okay, bringing the Swedish quality into Portugal, what exactly does it mean?
I'm a bit tired of having everything. Like now I live here in Cascais. I lived 6.5 years in Lisbon, and everything gets moldy. And I think it's the houses doesn't really breathe here. So we are trying to get that in, like having more ventilation, having good windows, and having the houses sealed but with a good ventilation. So and yeah, try to get us and higher up the energy certifications and yeah.
And you manage that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if somebody in the audience says, that's an interesting area where I would like to go to, what's the 3 fun factors of your work where you say this is amazing every single time I do that?
Oh, if they want to work, like do what I do?
For instance, yes.
Like there's always some fun things happens. Like now this project we're working on in Arroyos, where we bought the building, and it's 11 units, and we were tearing down the ground floor, and we opened up a wall that was all moldy, and it was like another space with furniture and a kitchen and things. There's always surprises. It's super fun, and now we have more valuable square meters, and we are gonna do a walk-in closet in the space. Like there's always surprises. Of course, sometimes it's not as good, but it's super fun. It's always challenges. It's always good surprises. Like we're discovering like all this nice old, like we were tearing down the walls, and there was like this handmade like wallpapers or like this hand painted walls. It's so many things we find that I know most of the new buildings here in Lisbon. It's just tear down and all new, everything white. And I think to do something different and really keep the old charm, it's a bit different.
So how do you conserve the paintings you were talking about?
No, that's going to be hard to keep, but it's like nice surprises that we see. And I would love to be able to do more of those projects where we can keep that much. Like now we're doing the azulejos that were the mosaico that was taking down. We're designing and putting it back again. Mm-hmm. And we have good carpenters that are doing the woodwork that was missing, and the things in the ceiling, the stuccos.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So just imagine somebody here in the audience has an old building or is planning to buy an old building and hiring you. What would they have to do? What's the time they have to invest for a middle-sized old building around Cascais?
Yeah, I want to do it fast, but of course there are some things like I normally do between 6 months and a year normally, but my goal is to be able to do like 1 flat a month. But I think like with the team we have, we could do that, but maybe not with this preservation that we do in some of the cases. Okay. But we have a good fast team, and Yeah, but I'm focused on more the renovation than doing the from zero, like building up from zero.
How big is the impact of bureaucracy for you in your work?
It's like here in Portugal, it's quite hard with it's a lot of the bureaucracy. So we try to, like when I buy a building or I take in investors and I select the buildings and then I take in the investors depending on if they want to do rentals or if they want to sell. And then what was the question again? Sorry.
I was already in the next question because you said something, right?
No, but I was gonna say something.
The question is about bureaucracy.
Yeah.
How does it impact?
So I try to like do as much, like I want to do as much like renovation on it, but to like not always have to legalize, because that takes a lot of time. We have had projects that have been for 4 years. So today we do with that we legalize, and it's been 2 years to legalize, and I want to do things that's faster, and so I focus on doing that. We take on projects to legalize and sell, but I like to see the transformation. I like it's faster, I think.
That's a bit of a mix of between Swedish and Portuguese, right?
Yeah. And Brazilian. And
Swedish people stop at a red light in the middle of the night.
Yeah. But I was driving a lot in Brazil, and it's like you have to do faster.
Good. Yeah. All right. How far do you go with your projects? So if I have a project and you redesign it, do you do interior management as well?
Yeah, we do everything. We have teams that can like do all the my idea is to have more packs. Now I'm doing mostly, depending if you're here, if you're gonna do for rentals, maybe you want to invest and like one sum, and if it's your dream house, of course you want to do another type of more functional for your family. So we do a bit of both, but I want to do more packs for investors.
Okay.
And so now this building I'm delivering, I'm selling with the option to buy it furnished, so you don't have to take care of if you're gonna rent it out or if you're gonna sell it, you can sell it with this turnkey solution.
Okay. Nice. So last question for you, as you exposed what you do and what you did so far quite well. Yeah. What's the kind of person you'd like to get in touch with in this audience? Who would like to talk to you?
I like partnerships sometimes to work, even if I have my like Leo and my parents, it's quite lonely to be to have my own company, and it's good to have partnerships, whether it's to help me sell in a different way or to design it or have projects. Like since I'm in all of the areas, like I want to be in all of the areas, but it's nice to have partners always. And investors, of course. I go in sometimes like 20 to 50% in my projects, and I take in investors. So it's always fun too. And the investors, sometimes they're more doing the management with me, and sometimes they just wanna wait for it to sell or to have their return. So yeah.
All right. Good. So anybody here? Yeah. Free to talk. Thank you, Hanna.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers.